New caliber shit.
Look, impact over income. I fly by in a Tesla. I'm grinding about to get one. Buy crypto with the extras. My Instagram on income. I go live and get checks up. They link up with the ebook. That bestseller, I'm next up. To the bank teller, I'm next up. Tell my baby mom my check's up. I'm walking around with my chest up. Merch Life Records, put your best up. Nigga, check what? I am the author.org. Come and tap into the course. Let me take you on a tour. Publish your book and learn how to do more. I don't hold hands unless you got a problem and need an explanation. Well, of course, I'm a whole mechanism. She gotta resist him when he penetrates her heart. She gon' write a book, make a milli off one title. Look, sell a lot of books. That's how you can be if you just tap in, take your time and look.
Don't judge a book by its cover, judge another brother. And I ain't out here up to nothing, but I publish mine. Don't judge a book by its cover, judge another brother. And I ain't out here up to nothing, but I publish mine.
What up? How you feel? Get excited. It's Merch Life J. You already know. Motivational, inspirational speaker for entrepreneurs across the globe. Today, we talking about L.O.A, man. What up, Coach? What up, Deus? What up, Monifa? How you feel?
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, my brother. I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey, man, you know, I'm excellent, man. I'm excellent. I ain't even gonna tell you about the grogginess or the soreness or none of that I rose with this day, man. And it's crazy because 10 minutes ago, I did not feel like doing this, right? Woo. But now it's like I don't know. It's like the energy, y'all. When I see y'all faces on my screen, man, it's like it's a whole nother story. You feel me? Yes, sir. What up, Monifa?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing lovely. How you doing, King God? See you in the basement.
Yeah, I just brought him up. What up, King God?
Yeah, greetings, brothers. Welcome, you know.
Peace.
Yes, sir, man. All right, so today is the introduction to the L.O.A, right? And we're gonna move into the three types of days. But first, I want to discuss what L.O.A even is, right? So when you hear the acronym L.O.A, what do you, if you had to guess, what do you think that stands for? I'm gonna go with my man, Coach.
Man, my mind goes so broad. That could be Legion of Affiliates, Legion of Alliance. Like it's so many things that my mind will go with that. So I'll leave that back to you.
Yes, sir. All right, that's a good guess. Let's go with Deus. What you think of when you hear the L.O.A? You probably read this part in the book already, but what you think?
So the first thing still that comes to mind is the law of attraction. But I knew better, but I'll leave it open.
Facts. You already know. Attraction don't even happen unless you the same frequency as something anyway, right? So ain't no just attracting something from saying it or writing it or thinking it. You have to be it in order for it to attract to you, right? Get excited. But yeah, man, that's a good guess too. What up, Monifa? What you think L.O.A stands for?
I have no idea.
All right, bet. That's a good guess too. My man King God, what you think L.O.A stand for?
That one looks new because the only one I know is laugh out loud. So I don't know that one, brother.
Hey, man. Hey, it's no such thing as a wrong answer over here. You already know. We learning, we growing, and I'm sure it's gonna be something I'm gonna learn out of this group today as well. Get excited. All right, so the L.O.A stands for, my man Donnell in the comments. Oh man, he said it stands for laws of average. You watching on Facebook, right? Yeah, he on Facebook right now, watching this live, and he said it stands for laws of average, and he's absolutely correct. The L.O.A I'm talking about stands for the law of averages, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and read directly
from the book for a second, right? So in this section of The Science of Winning, we will show you how to uncover the long sought after secret of efficiently netting those people that will patronize you. Basically, this is how you find customers, right? That was just a fancy sentence for that. And a method of everybody to some extent knows a method of finding buyers, right? However, to maximize the opportunity while effectively reaching possible prospects is not common knowledge. The super secret, if you will, behind how to find buyers for any business known to man is a universal law called the law of averages, or L.O.A. But L.O.A. is not just a numbers game. It's a game of persistent, intentional action with one goal in mind. Knowing about the law of averages is the difference between a day of results left to chance and a day of results left up to ourselves. Get excited about that. So maintaining the attitude is definitely a big part of it too. You know, I'm gonna throw that in there, but that's another section. Get excited. So here is how to find buyers using the system. All right, bet. So flipping the page. All right. So when I said L.O.A. is not just a numbers game, right? We know from one of our previous meetings that the law of averages states that you have to talk to a certain amount of people in order to get a certain amount of results, right? It don't matter what you're doing. It don't matter if you doing hair, if you selling fitness, if you promoting health, if you a driver, if you're a merchandiser like me, if you're a public speaker, it's still going to be people that just, you know, they good off of what you got. And it's going to be people that's like, yo, let me learn that. You know what I mean? So the law of averages is not just a numbers game. It's actually, it's a little more complicated than that, right? So before we get deeper into what L.O.A. is, we must be aware of the 3 types of days. And that's what today's meeting is about. The 3 types of days. Now, let me ask you, Deus, why do you think there are 3 types of days in this system I'm talking about?
I would make an educated guess that we have something like a very fruitful day, a not so fruitful day, and maybe an average day.
Yeah, that's actually a super accurate response, bro. Yeah, I mean that's exactly what we about to get into. So the 3 types of days consist of, like he said, a consistent day, right? A slow morning, fast evening. This is what it's called, or a fast morning, slow evening, right? I mean, slow afternoon, right? So basically, the 3 types of days, they can go either way, but recognizing what type of day you're having will allow you to maintain your attitude better during the day, right? So a slow morning, fast afternoon basically happens if all right, so the first type of day is the most common for beginners, right? It includes a buildup of seemingly slow progress and normally ends climatically with great results, right? And this is what's called a slow morning type, fast afternoon type of day, right? So why do you think it's effective to know these types of days when it comes to maintaining your attitude when you're in the mix or you're on the field or you're at your job or whatever you're doing? I'm gonna ask my man Coach that question.
You asked me a question. What now?
Yes, sir. I was saying, why do you think it's effective to know these types of days, to recognize the different types of days when it comes to maintaining your attitude?
Oh, why would be effect? Well, the way I look at it is, I mean, I'm just going off of my experiences. Now, I know as far as with what you were talking about earlier about the average, I deal with that all the time with SEO and helping my wife, like when she posts and we do the analytics and looking at how many posts she's done and the people that come through and the average of how many people she has that's following her. And, at first I had to show her, not to get discouraged because she didn't understand, like the numbers, how it was supposed to look. And then when we started doing the research, we started understanding that a lot better. So as far as days, I mean, I kind of look at the days of the month, like when people getting paid and stuff like that, to know how their attitudes are going to be. Because when the weekend comes, people usually in a good mood, and then during the week, after that check has been spent up, and that's usually like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're not in a good mood that much. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are my selling days that I usually make the most money. So if that's what you're referring to,
yeah,
that's
I can attest to that too. That's normally how it goes. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is normally consistent days. It's not really hard to get the job done on those days. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you could get the job done, but it take a little more work. You know what I mean? It just take a little more work. Is that what you?
Yeah, because some people don't save. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't save. They'll spend up their money as soon as, like, once they pay their bills, they're left with what they're left with, and then they'll go and do something, and then they're stuck waiting until their next paycheck. And that's what I try to capitalize on. Like, that's the reason why I try to make sure, like what you do, you make sure you show people stuff that they can actually make money with, and not just be spending money. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So I like your style, man.
Appreciate that, man. Get excited. Ooh. But yeah, you're absolutely right, though. So the reason why you want to recognize these types of days is so that you know what's going on. So you're not overestimating your goal on, say, a Monday, Tuesday, or a Wednesday. Now, I've collected 1,100 on a Monday before. The most I ever collected in one day was 1,275, and that was a Wednesday. However, those days are not, every single week. You know what I mean? Because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, people be acting like, they be acting funny. Thursday and Friday, they be acting like they had King of Diamonds or something, and you on the pole, like, oh yeah, take this too, get that, yeah. How much? Let me get all these. You know what I'm saying? I charge them up on the weekends. I charge them up on definitely Friday. You already know. Yeah, definitely Friday. Ain't no triple price breakdown. You're getting two prices. But yeah, man. So the slow morning, fast afternoon type of day is basically when you gotta build it up. It's like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's like I'm getting a lot of no's. And then that L.O.A kicks in. And after the L.O.A kicks in, it's like a landslide. It's like a flood, It's like I went through 300 people. They all told me get out their face. They ain't had no money. They all complained about their gas bill. You know what I mean? They all told me, what up, Malik? How you feel? Get excited?
Grand Rising, God, I feel amazing.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so they all tell you stuff like that. And then towards the afternoon is when it starts kicking in, right? So that's a slow morning, fast afternoon type of day, right? I just realized I got a lot to edit inside this book now. All right, get excited. So the second type of day, man. Can anybody tell me what the second type of day is? We talked about it earlier. Anybody remember?
So faster in the rise and a little bit slower in the afternoon.
Perfection. My man Days always come through in the clutch. You already know. Yeah, so the second type of day we must be aware of is a day where results increase early in the day and decrease toward the end of the day. Now, this type of day is called the fast, quote unquote, morning, slow afternoon. Now, can anybody give me a reason why you think it would slow down in the afternoon? I think Coach might have this.
I mean, that's kind of subjective because I know between 12 and 4 are like the best times to post on Facebook. And that reason is because of the time zone. So you have to remember, I deal with a lot of people over in Cali as well. So that's the reason for my thinking. But as far as it slowing down in the evening for someone on the East Coast, I mean, that's usually because they've either, went and they've had their lunch, they worked most of their day, and now they're tired. They're ready to go home and get back to their family. You know what I mean? But depending on if it was somebody from the East Coast, that's when I think the times would. If we get on the mindset of working both, the West Coast and the East Coast, we'd be able to like corner those slowdown times and take advantage of each.
Yeah, that's definitely a good tip. Thank you for that, man. I never even thought of that, the time zones and stuff. So I'm gonna definitely use that. So I think we about to start having an impact meeting in the evening too. Oh snap! Me and Deus do one on Thursday though. Get excited. So yeah, man. The fast rising, the slow afternoon type of day normally happens because you're tired or you feel like I don't want to do this no more, or what is a huge killer of entrepreneurship is complacency. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about being comfortable.
Yes.
Let's talk about let's talk about saying, oh man, I got 600, but I still got a bag full of stuff. I mean, I can go home. I can go play Dragon Ball Kakarot right now. I can go fall back. No, you
There's
can't.
no scaling with that. There's no scaling. You can't scale being comfortable, man. The moment you start feeling comfortable, that's when you need to start worrying. And I'm just being straight up with you. You cannot scale. There's no movement when you get comfortable. You must stay out of your comfort zone. If you want to go anywhere in life, you gotta stay out of your comfort zone.
He's spitting bars. And my man Deus, I know you got something for the complacency, man. What would you tell the person, right, that has completed all their goals and it's like 4 p.m., but they cutoff time is 8 p.m. They got 4 hours left and they like, man, I'm finna chill. I'm finna fall back, eat some tacos. What would you tell that person?
Keep it a band with you. I tell them to do it. You got to reward yourself. However, you got to split that time, right? Because you got to use your time wisely, especially as an entrepreneur. I don't know if you saw that post I made the other day, but where our dreams are built is not in our working hours, but in our off time. So plan ahead, see how you can do something different, see how you can do something better. If you got to add goals for the next couple of days, maybe 4 or 5 was too little. You want to bump it up a little bit. You want to challenge yourself. But that is the time to sit back. Because if you're just ripping and running, you're going to always be ripping and running. In order to be a business owner and not just self-employed, you got to be able to take time to yourself and stop so you can get a look ahead.
Hey, but you know what I think about that, though, Merch?
Yes, sir.
It's like this. If you got a snowball, which end would you rather start off trying to make that snowball bigger? Would you rather be at the top of the hill or at the bottom of the hill? Like, I'd rather be at the top of the hill and keep controlling my snowball as it's getting bigger going down the hill for me, where it's easier for me. So that way, if you know it's 4 o'clock and you don't have to stop until 8, just go ahead and get them extra 4 hours in so that way you free yourself up for the next day. You're just making your life easier if you get out the way now. If you can do it now, why not? Get out the way.
Big facts, man. I think both of y'all got a good point. Now, rewarding yourself, right? Rewarding yourself comes with some people don't know how to reward themselves and then get back to it after they reward themselves, right? And then some people, when they feel as though they have reached their goal and they continue to keep going, they get nothing done after they continue to keep going. So the reason why these things happen is it's still complacency. It's still complacency. So I might reward myself and then I might be like, man, that was so fun. I want to do that again. I don't even want to work again, right? It's all about the mindset of the individual that's using these tactics to keep themselves going, right? Because I could also say, when I'm out there on the field and I got 600 in the pocket, I told myself my goal was complete. So the effort that I'm putting into pitching the rest of these people might just be me going through the motions. I might miss something that was said that I could have used to sell more. I might have not pitched someone that I walked past because I wasn't as hungry as I was when I first came outside. You know what I mean? So I appreciate both of those answers because it's definitely a double-edged sword, man. That complacency is a mofo. That joint will get you when you least expect it. So basically, the point of this part of the message is to not get comfortable. Do not stay inside of your comfort zone if you are there. And never be afraid to get more than you asked for, man, because you deserve every little bit. You already know. All right, so the last type of day, man, it starts with the C. My favorite C word of all the words in the English language. It's my absolute favorite C word of all the words in the English language. Can anybody guess what type of day I'm talking about?
The uppity day.
Yeah, the consistent day. You already know, man. Get excited. So I do got a question for you, King God, after I read this real quick. So the third type of day we must be aware of is a consistent day. This type of day is self-explanatory. A consistent day is where everything works to your advantage throughout the entire day. Buyers seem to just come from left and right almost effortlessly, right? So a consistent day isn't rare. It doesn't have to be rare, right? I was going to ask you though, King God, how would you handle if you notice that you're having a consistent day and it might still be the daytime, it might still be the evening, it might be the afternoon, you might be about to clock out and get out of there, right? When you notice you're having a consistent day, what things could you do to duplicate that day for the rest of your week?
Man, you see a person that's down and give them a good day, like just keep pouring it out to others. You know, if I'm having a great day, I'm just gonna pour it in everybody, right?
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That vibe is contagious, right? Like just like when someone is in a negative mood and they go around people that are not protecting their energy, that's going to rub off on them. So it's the same way with the positive, with the good energy, right? If you're having a consistent day and you're not bragging, but you're telling people like, hey man, listen, I'm gonna give you something, I'm gonna shake your hand, yo. This energy right here is fire. I'm having a great day. You're gonna rub off on a lot of different people. Now, duplicating your day may not have to do with putting that energy on others, right? Duplicating your matter of fact, I'm gonna ask my man Malik. What do you think is a way that you could duplicate that day, right? Like dissect that. Oh, I ain't gonna give you the answer. What do you think is a way that you could duplicate a consistent day, Malik? Can you talk? I think Malik a little busy. So my man Deus. What you think? What you think is a way to duplicate a consistent day after you notice it's happening?
Take stock. So that same thing we talked about earlier with that pause. See kind of what energy, what mindset you were in, what you did beforehand. If you jumped in the gym and got your blood flowing, write that down. Keep note of that. Keep track of that. If you ate all fruits or if you didn't eat, you was fasted and you find your performance to be a little bit better, your mood to be a little bit better, write that down. Whatever music you listen to, whatever vibe you caught, write that down and then run it. The place that you went to, just check and see, man. Life is an experiment.
Yup, definitely, man. Definitely. There's no need to fine tune the next day or reinvent the wheel, if you will, if you already know how to have a consistent day, right? If you know you got up and you did the push-ups and you did the meditation and you did a backflip down the stairs, I wouldn't recommend, don't do that. Don't try that at home. But if you know you you had a great rise and then your day went excellent, I think that duplicating that day should be exactly that. It should be duplicating that day, right? Do exactly what you did when you had a consistent day. It's simple, man. It's like just like King God said, you putting that energy back out, but he said putting it on other people. I'm saying put it back on yourself, right? So regurgitate that energy. Be like, man, where did I go yesterday? And how was I talking to those people for me to come home with 1,100? Like, what happened? Dissect that day, man. Take it apart, break it all the way down. And remember all of those, retrace your steps, man. Retrace your steps. Because I don't know if you know this, but when you milk a cow, it's always more milk in that cow. I mean, as long as it's pregnant, it's always more milk in that cow. So you can never run out of the juice, the sauce, whatever you want to call it, that energy. It's infinite. It's an infinite amount of energy. You just got to find out how to tap into it. And once you're on that frequency, stay on that frequency. Now, I will say this. I will say that just because that frequency is infinite, right? Just because you know how to tap into it, it doesn't mean that necessarily it can always be tapped in the same way, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that because I went to Woodland Ave and collected 1,100 that I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow on Woodland Ave, right? I don't believe I'm going to talk to the same people and they're going to spend the same amount of money. They just bought something yesterday. So what I'm saying is that fine-tuning your day consists of you duplicating what was done and you taking out the things that didn't work, but also being able to apply that energy in a different place at a different time. There is a way to maintain your attitude that I always use, and I learned it from Peter Pan. right? I learned it as a child from Peter Pan. Before I hit the field, every single day before I hit the field, right? Y'all might call it meditation. I call it zoning out. What I do is I take a memory, right? I take a memory either from my childhood or about my children currently, right? I take a memory and I engrave that thought into the frontal lobe. So that means that whenever something bad happens, or it feels like something bad is happening, or someone tests my energy, I just think of the time Solana made me laugh, right? I think about the time I body slammed the third grade teacher. He was racist. I body slammed the third grade teacher through the desk and we gave him a stroke. I know that sounds bad. I know it sounds horrible. But he called me the N-word. Me and my man Michael was not with it. We 3D'd him just like on wrestling, and he ended up having a stroke. So that moment was super duper happy for me, right? Because that was my first Nat Turner activity. And I was like, how old are you in third grade? I don't even know, right? But we picked a grown man up and dealt with that. So anyway, you got to think of that happy thought. Just like Peter Pan would tell them, if you want to fly, you got to have a happy thought. Just keep that happy thought right on the tip of your brain, right? And this really is how I continue to have consistent days, man. I'm gonna ask though, my man Coach, what is your best way or one of your methods to apply a consistent day for the people that aren't doing it or that want to know?
Well, I think I mentioned yesterday, or it might have been the day before, about the affiliate marketing. How I was looking at my account on JV Zoo. I was like, that's sweet. I upped it to just 3 hours, like probably out of a month. To be honest with you, I upped it to 3 hours out of a month, and I made $3,000 a year. You get how that go? Like just 3 hours out of a month, and I was able to make $3,000 for the year. So I think my method of what I was saying the other day, it works. If you just dedicate 1 hour a day starting off, you can literally get yourself to the point where if you stay consistent with it, like if I did that every day now, just imagine what I could really make a year. Just imagine that. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's really pushing me. Like right now, as you were speaking, I was already on a site looking at their affiliate program. And I don't mind giving a secret to people, man. When you get on anybody's site that you like, if it's a product or service, just scroll down to the bottom of the page. It's that simple, and look for affiliate program or affiliate partner or affiliate network and sign up for it. When you see that world, you're not going to look back, I promise. It's just being consistent.
Yes, sir, man. So that was Coach's method of applying a consistent day, man, to himself. And I believe in that, man. I do believe in that. I believe in just being consistent is going to bring out a consistent day, right? We got 4 people watching right now, Facebook and YouTube. Yesterday, it was 0. The day before that, it was 1. You know what I mean? It's just going to keep growing. The more consistent that I am, when I come here every day, people know I'm going to be here. They know they're going to get this motivation. And I just think that being consistent, like we said earlier, to attract something, you have to be that, right? So when you be consistent, it's only right. You're going to get consistency. Get excited. So I got a question from my man Deus, but first I want to say, what up, Kata? How you feel, Ruby? Get excited.
Grand Rising.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Grand Rising, y'all. How you feel, man? I'm glad y'all here. I'm happy y'all made it. Get excited, and you know what I'm about to do. My man Deus, can you give us the recap real quick before we move on? You already know.
No problem. So this was our law of averages introduction. We talked about 3 types of days. We have essentially fast risings and slow afternoons. We have slow risings and fast afternoons, and we have consistent action throughout the day. The importance of this is kind of being able to put yourself in perspective and keep a good attitude during the day, to understand that every day not going to go the way you expect it to or want it to, but it's your day still. So maintain your attitude and keep it going. We talked about a lot of things. And I think that the vast majority is pouring back into yourself and finding out those ways, those routines, those habits, those rituals, if you would, to keep yourself in that good mind space and that good attitude space so you can continue to output. And we also talked about complacency being a killer and not to get complacent and to continue to push forward and do what you got to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, Deus be coming with the recap every time. I appreciate you, bro. You already know I'm sending love your way right now. Get excited. All right, man. So, now that we talked about the 3 types of days, Ruby or Kata, do you have any questions before we move on, or anything you want to add?
No, just listening.
Did I miss what three types of days mean?
Yeah, so I'll repeat it. So the 3 types of days are, the first one is my favorite one. It's actually the third one, but my favorite one is a consistent day, right? That's when things are just happening for you all day long. There is not really too much negative going on, and you're just happy all day. You're getting those sales all day, or whatever success is to you in your lane that is happening for you all day, right? And then you have the fast morning, slow afternoon type of day, right? Or slow evening, however you want to say it. So that day is basically when everything is going well in the rise early in the day, and then everything happens differently during the afternoon. And we talked about complacency because the fast morning, slow afternoon type of day normally happens because you get comfortable after you feel like you have reached a certain amount of goal or a certain amount of success, right? And we talked about not being comfortable because I remember at the very lowest form of this discussion, I remember a crack dealer told me one time, and this is in the beginning when I first started selling perfumes. He said he saw me counting $300, and he was like, "What you doing, young boy?" I'm like, "Man, I'm about to go in the crib. I'm done." He like, "You ain't done. Look at you. You still got stuff in your bag." He was like, "You ain't no hustler if you don't stay out here until the pack gone." I'm like, "What you mean?" He was like, "The best time to hustle is when you up. The best time to hustle is when you're up." And what Coach was saying about the snowball effect, right? It's way easier to collect $100 if you got $100 versus collecting $100 if you don't have anything at all. I'll repeat that. It is way easier to accumulate funds or sales or success or whatever that you want if you already have it versus starting out with zero, with nothing. You feel me? So that was the second type of day. And the third type of day, the first type of day, is the slow morning, fast afternoon. Now, that's pretty self-explanatory. The morning could be slow because you might have got up groggy. You might not have started your day how you were supposed to. You know, we always want to look at self when it comes to why my results are this way. You always want to look at self, right? And then the fast afternoon could be because you finally turned up, right? You got that one person that was like, "Man, can I just get 2 for $40?" And you like, all right, I'm gonna break the ice. I'm gonna start the day off. Yeah, you can get 2 for $40. And then after that, everybody buying everything, right? Because you might need to break the ice, man. That's how it works, right? We're gonna talk about breaking the ice on another day. So all right, so we got a comment. We got a comment on Facebook, and she says, this is Tamika talking. She says, "During my search for properties, many aren't welcoming to seeing strangers take photos. I'll use happy thoughts methods to keep myself focused and moving forward." Thank you for that. So that happy thought method I was talking about. Let me see. Monifa. Matter of fact, King God, can you explain the Peter Pan happy thought method that we spoke about earlier?
Yeah, brother. I was kind of engaged with something and just come back into the room, you know.
Okay. You want me to call on someone else?
Yes, please do, brother. Because I don't know that Peter Pan analog that you gave up.
All right, bet. So, Monifa, do you remember the happy thought method we talked about earlier?
I'm not sure if I heard anything about a happy thought.
All right, bet. So if you all remember the movie Peter Pan, Peter Pan used to tell the children that wanted to fly when he taught them how to fly. You know, you get the little fairy dust sprinkled on you or whatever. And then he's like, in order to fly, You have to think of a happy thought. And I'm talking about the Robin Williams version with Rufio and Captain Hook and all that. It's actually called Captain Hook, not Peter Pan. Get excited. So he said, you got to have a happy thought if you want to fly, right? And for me, flying is having a consistent day. For me, flying is being successful, right? For me, flying is blowing out the bag. Like I want to get home and be able to swing that John up and down, upside down with nothing, with no worries about if something is going to break, right? That's because I sold out. Get excited. So I want to be able to do that. And to be able to do that, you have to stay on that frequency, right? You have to stay in that mood. You got to stay in that whatever I did when I had a consistent day type of vibe. So that's all having a happy thought is. Having a happy thought is, oh man, they trying to mess with my attitude. Let me remember the time where my daughter made me laugh. Or let me remember the time we 3D'd the teacher through the desk, because that was hilarious, right? And that's having a happy thought. It's just going to continue to keep you in the vibe that you need to be in, right? Get excited. Whew. All right, so last thing I want to say about the law of averages, and tomorrow we're actually going into the 3 types. The 3 types of customers, right? So we talked about the 3 types of days today, and tomorrow we're going to discuss the 3 types of customers. Now, this is all included in the law of averages chapter. And again, if you want this book, you can click the link under this, John, and or you can just DM me, hit me up or whatever, and I'll send you a copy of the book. Get excited. But this book is called The Science of Winning, right? Here it is right here for the people on Facebook. Wham, The Science of Winning. And it has the entire system inside of it, man. So that was the introduction to L.O.A. And that was the 3 types of days. Now, the last thing I want to say about L.O.A. is that L.O.A. is always different for different industries or different businesses, right? She said, there's definitely no gain if you believe enough profit is enough. Get excited. Yeah. Like just like my man coach said, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. You're dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. So it's like, for example, if I collect 1,100 and then I go home, I might have some bills to pay. But if I stayed outside until the allotted time, I'm making more money. So I'm actually growing, right? Get excited. So do anybody have a question or anything to add to this meeting, L.O.A., the 3 types of days, before we get out of here? Nah. All right, bet. So I'm Merch Life J, motivational, inspirational speaker for parapreneurs across the globe, man. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through. Tomorrow, like I said, what's that, Coach?
I said, we appreciate you more.
Oh. Appreciate that, bro. Oh, yeah. I did want to tell y'all something. Yo, something amazing happened to me yesterday. So I'm at my son's football practice, right? And there was a woman there. I never saw her before. She wasn't at the practice. She was in the park where I'm playing with the younger children at, right? So I'm playing with 4 and Lana, and we running around. Liam over there, he playing with some older children. And the lady is like, yo, ain't you Merch Life? And I'm like, I'm just looking at her. She like, yeah, you is Merch. Like, oh my God. I was looking like, is that the bull? And I said, yeah, that's me. I was like, what, you follow me on Instagram or something? She was like, yo, I really got to tell you how you changed my life. And I was like, huh? She said, listen, I was contemplating offing myself. And offing myself is suicide, if y'all didn't know that. She said, I was contemplating offing myself. And and this is the word she used. She said, one of your commentaries is what made me reconsider killing myself. She said, I did not kill myself because of something that you said. So I'm glad that you're back posting stuff now. And I'm happy that you're doing it again, because you never know who's listening. And then she kept thanking me over and over and over and over again, telling me about her story, about how she's going to court to get her children back, how she was homeless and she's coming up in the world. And it just made me feel like, what? I have never, ever had nobody say that to me before, bro. So I just want y'all to know.
It's good, brother. That shows you that you're really active and you're pouring out into the world, because that's what we're called to do, man, because we're supposed to touch people. That spirit you have is very contagious. You got to give that. That's not something you keep. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. And that was further confirmation that I need to continue to keep going. So any of those days when I'll get up and I'm like, man, I don't feel like it, I'm not going to never submit to that no more. I'm not ever going to stop doing this because she told me that. I don't know how many people felt the same and didn't tell me that. I don't know how many people I may affect or may talk to in the future, right? So I have to keep going. It's only right. I just wanted to put that out there and let y'all know that that's what happened to me, man, because that was crazy. Nothing like that ever happened before.
And please remember this. You know what I'm saying? Consistency for an individual, it can never be bought. You can never buy consistency. It's just something you got to have in you. You got to really discipline yourself and stick with it, man. That's it.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate
That's real.
Yeah, I appreciate those words from King God. I appreciate my man, Coach. I appreciate Monifa Deus, Malik, Kada, Ruby. She left, but get excited. Tamika Scott, Donnell Daniels, Tater Tots. Everybody that's watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, get excited. I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. You already know. Get out of here, Lana Bear.